We live in an age that celebrates freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom to become whoever we want. But have you noticed that despite all these freedoms, people have never felt more trapped? Trapped by work, by money, by the endless need to be something. The ancients once asked the same question we're still afraid to face today. What does it truly mean to be free? To them, freedom wasn't about doing whatever you wanted, it was about mastering yourself. So maybe the real prison isn't outside of us. Maybe it's within. This is the story of a debate that began thousands of years ago and never ended. To the ancients, freedom was never about doing whatever you desired. It was about mastering the desires themselves. In Athens, freedom was sacred, but not for everyone. Only a few were considered free men. Yet even they knew that the real chains were not made of iron. Socrates believed that no man could be free if he was a slave to his impulses. Rule yourself, he said, before you try to rule the world. His student Plato wrote of the inner battle, the charioteer struggling to control two horses, reason and desire. When reason lost control, chaos began, and from chaos came tyranny. The Stoics took this further. Epictetus, once a slave, taught that even chains could not take away your freedom if your mind remained untouched. You may fetter my leg, he said, but not even Zeus himself can overpower my will. For the ancients, freedom was internal. It wasn't about power, it wasn't about wealth, it was about control over one's thoughts, one's fears, one's reactions. To be free was not to escape the world, but to face it and not be ruled by it. Maybe that's why the wisest among them spent their lives not conquering nations, but conquering themselves. Centuries passed, empires rose and fell into dust, but the idea of freedom never died. Men fought kings and tyrants in its name. Words like liberty and rights ignited revolutions that reshaped the world. The French stormed their Bastille. The Americans wrote a declaration. Humanity declared at last, man is born free. But Rousseau finished the sentence we like to forget, and everywhere he is in chains. Today, our chains are invisible. They glow on our screens, whisper through advertisements, hide behind terms of service. We scroll through an infinity of choices, yet somehow feel emptier than ever. We can be whoever we want, as long as it fits the algorithm. We can say whatever we think, as long as it gets likes. We once dreamed of being free from kings, but we built new masters: approval, status, attention. Freedom became not a path to peace, but a marketplace of distractions. And in chasing everything, we forgot what was worth chasing at all. The ancients feared slavery of the body. We face a gentler kind, slavery of the mind. So what is freedom really? The philosophers never agreed. To Nietzsche, freedom meant the courage to create your own values, to stand apart, even if it meant standing alone. He saw freedom not as peace, but as the weight of responsibility. To choose your path when no one tells you which is right, that is the burden of the free man. The Buddhists saw it differently. They said freedom begins when you stop chasing illusions, when you let go of desire, control, and the endless need to become. Only then are you free. Maybe both were right. Maybe freedom is not something we find once and keep forever. Maybe it's something we lose and find again, every time we choose what to serve. Because everyone serves something: power, pleasure, love, purpose. The question isn't whether you serve, it's what you serve willingly. Freedom isn't a place we reach. It's a battle we fight within ourselves every single day. And maybe the freest person is not the one who does whatever he wants, but the one who can look at his desires and say no. The ancients knew it. We forgot it. But the debate continues, Every morning in every mind that dares to ask, am I free? Freedom was never a gift. It was always a fight, not a fight against kings or governments, but against the parts of ourselves that beg for comfort over truth. The ancients called it discipline. The philosophers called it self-mastery. Today, we might just call it courage. The courage to think your own thoughts. The courage to say no when the world screams yes. The courage to be free, even when freedom costs you peace. Because the man who can control himself can survive any world. But the man who cannot will be a prisoner in everyone. In the end, freedom isn't a destination, it's a direction, and the first step begins inward. No man is free who is not master of himself. Socrates.